guys.
How are you,
What's up, Johnny?
How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. First question, how frustrating was it to hit 213 last year? What were some of the problems you had, and what did you do in the off season to improve on hitting 213 with less than normal home runs power?
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for reminding me that. Yeah, so I kind of it was obviously a rough 2 months. Um, and it was one of those things I felt like I really wasn't prepared for last year. Felt like it kind of caught me off guard with whether we were going to play, whether we weren't, stuff like that. So I just kind of went back to doing the same thing I always do and staying ready, staying prepared for the whole season, like I usually do. I felt like last year when they shut down spring training, it was one of those things where like, are we going to play? Are we not type deal? And, it was my fault. I take accountability for that because I didn't stay ready. And I think this year I said to myself, they're not getting me again. They're not catching me off guard. So, I stayed ready the whole time.
How much did not having to see the video hurt you?
I think it definitely hurt me a bit. I think obviously I had to change my routine. It was something I wasn't used to, something I grew up with in the minors. Again, like I've said a million times, it's part of my routine, and it was something that kind of just got taken away from me. But I'm excited that this year we're going to have it back in a sense. We're going to have some kind of videos where we can look at our swings and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting back to, somewhat normal baseball during these crazy times.
How hard did you work in the winter?
Pretty hard. I really focused. I didn't take it for granted. I tried to use every day to get better in every which way I could.
Will you be more determined this year to succeed?
I think I got a little bit of chip on my shoulder. I've always played with that. I've always played with that chip, just having to prove people wrong, and my whole career. And I think it kind of might have, went away in a little bit, but I think I got a little bit back now.
Do you feel the pressure it will be on your shoulders this year to help carry the team?
No, I don't believe in pressure. It's something we make up in our minds, so to me, I don't focus on that.
Katie, when we talked to you at the end of last year, you said you were going to go back to the lab, this winter. What were the biggest things that you kind of found there, just in the work you were doing?
Kind of, I created some really, really bad habits in my swing, and I didn't even notice it at the time, and kind of just, it took me a while to figure out what was the actual cause of it. Really, what was causing this move that I was making. Literally spent a lot of time on it, trying new things in the cages. I remember during 1 week we were in the cage from freaking I think 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at night for a week straight. Just right when I started hitting, okay, let's start off right away and let's eliminate everything and get to the source so that we know what to work on the entire off season. And, I feel like we did a good job of it, and I'm excited for the season, honestly.
JD, one of the things that you mentioned, I believe last year, was that you said your hips are flying forward in your swing, and that in turn, you weren't able to catch up to the fastball because your hips were coming forward. How did you sort of remedy that problem in the off season? And was that one of the issues that you were working on to help better?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of it's hard to explain through you guys, over here. I'd have to literally show you all the movements and stuff like that. But like I said, that first week, we've kind of really grinded out a lot of things that we thought were the problems. And just to realize most of them weren't, and the problems were coming from something else. So I think once we started fixing, and it was almost like a log jam. Once you remove one log, everything started flowing again. And so that's kind of where we were at, you know, and there's still things like I still have to grind on because, you know, I spent an entire year doing the moves wrong. So like I said before, from the beginning, when I made my swing changes, my swing was never a natural swing for me. It was a swing I had to teach myself. I had to work on it. I had to show myself the right moves, and it's something that I got to continue to work on and continue to grind. There's never like, I can't sit here and say, yeah, guys, I fixed it, I'm back. You know what I mean? Because it's not like that. It's not baseball. The moment you think you got it figured out, this game humbles you real quick. So it's one of those things I got to keep working and stick to the process.
And you talked about video. What are the benefits of having video back for you personally?
For me is being able to make adjustments in one game versus another game. You know, I can go in my first at bat and see that my thought didn't translate into my game swing. So obviously I can eliminate that, you know, so I can go in my second at bat and, you know, think of something else. And if that doesn't work, I can do it my third at bat and maybe I figure it out. You know, in my third at bat, maybe it looks better versus having to waste 4 at bats in one game and then try something else and waste 4 more at bats the second game and then try something else and waste another 4 at bats the third game. You know, it cuts my margin in a fourth, really. You know, I can get results quicker in a sense.
JD, when you say were you working with some of the same hitting guys that you've worked with in the past, or was there anybody new in the mix that you were working with?
Just my hitting coaches back home.
At the same facility.
Yeah, the same guys can't work with me. They work with the Dodgers now.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. I was just
they're not allowed to work with me anymore.
So I was just who are you working with now that you've been with the past year or so?
Just my buddy back home. This guy I work with, Sosa, you know, is what we call him. It's his name. Not Sammy, don't worry. But his last name is Sosa. And, you know, some of my college coaches, my ex-college coach, I worked with him for a little bit. And yeah, just like guys that I've worked with in the past, honestly, like a bunch of names that you never even heard, but people that have thrown BP to me, that have flipped to me, that have, you know, been working with me and stuff like that for years. We kind of just all got together, really.
And I know you worked out a little bit with Eduardo Rodriguez, and just was wondering, what that was like, and kind of how he looked to you and how he's kind of progressing.
Eddie's Eddie. He's a trip, man. He's fun to work out with. He's a fun guy to be around. He's always joking around. He's got a really good personality. But he seems ready, you know, He's going to be, you know, we missed him a lot last year. He's a big part of this team and our success for the future. So we're going to need him, and, you know, he's getting ready, and, you know, we're excited to have him back. That's for sure.
JD, saludo, ¿cómo estás?
How's it going? ¿Cómo andas?
Bien, tuviste la oportunidad de trabajar con Sosa, ya lo dijiste, y con el grupo de jugadores, principalmente con Miguel Cabrera. ¿Qué trabajaste tú y Miguel juntos?
Bueno, Miguel trabajó en diferente tiempo que yo. Entrenamos juntos, pero no trabajamos, tú sabes, de swing y todo eso juntos. Miguel va más temprano, él tiene niños, él tiene hijos y tiene que despertarse temprano. Yo me despierto más tarde.
Pero en el caso tuyo, ¿qué tú trabajaste? O sea, para tener una mejor temporada como la que tú tienes acostumbrado a uno.
Sí, trabajé en el swing y los fundamentals de los principales de swing mío, y qué trabaja y qué no. Y tú sabes, yo vi mucho diferencia en el año pasado comparado ahora y comparado a adelante, que yo cogí un hábito malo y yo no lo podía quitar durante la temporada, pero ahora yo siento mucho más mejor que lo quité, y yo creo que el swing es mejor ahora. Yo puedo decir con confianza que el swing ahora está mejor que el año pasado.
Los jugadores nuevos,
Eso sí, yo sé.
¿Los jugadores nuevos te han impresionado?
Bueno, yo no he jugado con mucho, tú sabes. yo no lo he visto mucho porque aquí lo tienen tan separado. Y tú sabes, hay un grupo aquí, otro grupo está allá, y yo bateo con Hunter Renfroe y Duran, el centerfield de chamaquito, y ese ve bien, ese ve jovencito, pero bien.
Finalmente, ¿qué tú le dirías a aquellos que realmente no creen en el equipo de Boston este año de que pueda clasificar o llegar más allá?
Que siguen creyendo eso si quieren. Vamos a ver lo que pasa. A mí no me gusta hablar. A mí no me gusta hacer, trabajar y enseñar en el terreno.
JD, is there a new guy that you look forward to working with more than maybe others?
I don't know. I kind of want to see Frenchie, however you say it, Cordero. I think he's got some really good talent, and I don't know. I feel like he's got a high swing miss, but I think that there might be a couple things I can pass down to him, and maybe he could benefit from them.
JD,
Haven't seen him yet, though. He's not here.
JD, how do you feel about the team chances this year? It seems everybody in New England and on talk radio is down on this team. How do you feel about it?
Let them think what they want to think. That's the way I look at things. I'm confident in my team. I think we're going to surprise a couple people. I know it's cliche. I know a lot of people say it, but I don't see this team as, I would say as hurting as it did last year in a sense with, all the pitchers we lost and everything like that. I mean, we're getting two big additions with Eddie and Sale coming back. Obviously Sale a little bit further on the line, and that right there changes a lot. And with, we added Richards, and, we brought Martínez back. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, Johnny. I'm not one to talk. I like to talk with my bat and my ball on the field, and let my bat do the talking. So we'll see what happens.
How do you feel about potentially losing Bradley?
He's a big loss. I love Jackie. I've obviously we've gotten close over the years. He's a good teammate. He's a great player. He's a big part of our success since I've been here. I wish him the best in everything that he does. I hope he gets the most for himself and his family. Obviously, if we do lose him, it'll be a blow. He's to me, the best center fielder in the game, and defensively, obviously. But yeah. That's all I got.
JD, how much have you communicated with Jackie to see how he's doing?
I talked to him. I texted him a little bit. He's doing all right. He feels confident. He says he's got a couple offers. He's just, he's waiting for that, the one person to just take the next step so that he can go ahead and sign.
Can you talk about the maturity of Xander Bogaerts since you've been here?
Xander's always been a quiet leader. He's always been, since I've been here, he's definitely grown. I saw it last year, especially, he was one of the guys that was really hitting the ball well all year. And he really did a lot of the carrying of the team last year. So he's a leader, he's in that role already. He got his big contract. He's proven, he's gone out there, he's won accolades. He's at that point where he's starting to lead, and he's starting to see it. He's starting to, step into those shoes.
What did you think of Tatis's new contract?
That's a lot of money, so you can't turn that down. Obviously he's one of the most dynamic players in the game. So, he had to do what was best for his family. So you understand why he took it. And you understand why he did it. So congrats to him. Really, I think it's there's no price on what makes you happy and makes you secure, and I think you see that around the league with guys that sign shorter deals or guys that wait, so to each his own, and, I'm happy for him.
Are you optimistic that baseball will be playing in 2022 with the new negotiations?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. It's definitely going to be a battle, but hopefully we'll see. We'll see what happens.
JD, when you
kind of a big picture question for you. When you look at guys like Nelson Cruz or Big Papi, these guys who make it into their 40s and are still productive players, does that inspire you at all? Do you look at yourself as somebody who could follow that path?
100%. 100%. I feel at least like I'm in one of those unique roles where I feel like I could do the same thing. I feel healthy. I feel like I take good care of myself. I feel like I study enough where I can keep myself at a certain level. So like you said, I think those guys, honestly, they give me motivation. I actually worked out with Nelson Cruz, in the off season a little bit. And I was just picking his brain the whole time. I was like, Nelson, talk to me, bro. How do you do it? How are you? What is he? 42, 43 now?
41,
how old is Nelson
maybe.
Cruz? Anybody know?
I think he's 41.
41? Dude, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing to me. And he's more productive the last 2 years than he's been I feel like his whole career. If you look at his numbers, like he's 40 now? He'll be 41 in July. So, that's impressive. And it gives you motivation because in your mind, you're like, well, if he can do it, why can't I? So in my mind, I'm going to do the best I can and strive and just keep working hard and, take each day how it comes.
And just to follow up on that real quick, do you then look at it and say that you could be a piece of the Red Sox, not just until your contract is up, but well into the future?
That's what I'm hoping, honestly. I've hoped that since the first time I signed here. This is a special organization. A lot of guys don't get to play for the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs, like those historic franchises, So anytime you get to, go into one of those franchises, it's just a family at that point, and especially when you've been there for a while and you win, you become one of those names where you're known forever. Everyone will ever know. I feel like in Red Sox history will forever know David Ortiz and Pedro Martínez and those guys that have been here for years. So obviously, it's one of those things where that's obviously be a dream.
Going back to Jackie, when you talk to him, do you talk to him about the experience of going late into an off season with Scott Boras as your client and sort of having faith in the process?
No, we never really talked him to that depth. We just asked him how he's been doing, how he's, how everything, and he's, Jackie's always been a quiet guy. So just making sure he's cool and he sounds great. He sounds very optimistic and he's happy. And it's just pretty much asking about his little girl because I'm definitely going to miss her hugs after every game. And just his new baby that he had, kind of giving him congrats on that, really.
Different topic, and obviously this doesn't affect you as much because you're in the AL, but is it crazy to you that we're going back and forth year to year with this universal DH thing?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's time. I think everybody knows it's time. I think even the owners, the players, like even the fans, I feel like they know it's time. Like everybody wants offense. And you saw last year in certain guys, like, you look at Ozuna, really benefited from it. And there's a lot of just, I don't know, to me, it's the future of the game. We're kind of holding it and we keep, pushing back and forth. It's one of those things. You just got to either go in or go out, right?
Katie, what's the biggest benefit for you personally and for the team of having Alex Cora back as manager?
I think his personality. I think his understanding of the players. Alex is a very, how could I put it, uppity guy. He's got like a lot of energy. Every time he comes, he sees you, messes around with you. It's fun to have him around. You know, I told him when he was out there at BP, I was like, dang, Chief, I miss you back here. I miss you back here talking crap to me while I used to hit BP. You know, I mean, that kind of camaraderie is like what I miss, having Alex around and him just understanding me and my needs as a hitter and who I am, and me understanding his needs as a manager from me. And I think we did a really good job in 18 and 19 of doing that.
JD,
All right, guys. Oh,
JD, do you have any comment on that Seattle president comments the last few weeks?
no, I got no comment on that. I stay out of that stuff.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Later.
Thank you.
Y que lo que para mí está el manjado de este lado activo con la máquina deportiva, mi hermano personal, la gente dura, la máquina deportiva.